We got our center, Billy Gilmore, senior center, 6'3.5", 6'4", 290 senior. Billy has several Division I offers already. A really good player for us. Moved from left tackle to center for us. And then our senior quarterback, Christian Mose. Christian's a guy that's really had a great summer. Fought through some injuries last year, but is a guy that you're going to hear more and more about on the recruiting trail as well. Starting to really heat up for him. So two really good seniors, of course, the core of our offense. Two great leaders in our team. Also very, very proud to say two great academic guys. Both of them have very high GPAs, great ACT scores, model citizens. So we're very proud to be standing up here with these two guys. They are great representatives of our community and our school.
So kind of tell us where you feel like the program's come in year, as you get ready for year two now.
You know, a tremendous difference in team strength and team speed. I'm not saying that we're a fast team yet, but we're not, it looked like we were running in mud a little bit last year sometimes, and we're not that team anymore. Our team from top to bottom has worked tremendously hard in the off season to improve our overall team speed, to improve our ability to change direction, to improve our strength. I think some of these guys will tell you their squat numbers, are hundreds of pounds, not hundreds usually, but in some cases 100 pounds more than they were last year. We kind of laugh. We look at some guys that started at linebacker as an example, and we're frustrated. We can't tackle anyone, and we look up at the end of the year and his bench max is 145 in 7A football. That kid had no chance to be successful. So our kids have bought into that. They've worked very, very hard in the off season, and we are a much stronger and much faster football team.
Coach, 7A lost 2 teams. You guys are down to 7 teams now in the region. I know you want to take it 1 week at a time, but when you look at the grand scheme of things, at the end of the day, making the tournament is what you want to do.
Sure.
How do you feel about your chances with 7 teams in it now?
We felt good about it with 9 teams. As a coaching staff, I know we believed that we could get in last year. I think our lack of strength and our lack of what that turns into in 7A football, if you're not a very strong team and you're not very deep, well, before you know it, you're playing with a bunch of freshmen. And a couple of injuries here and there because, again, we weren't strong enough to withstand the physical pounding of 7A football. Changed our team pretty quick. We came out of the gate, started well last year, early in the year, and then, again, as injuries pile up, and then obviously that affects your confidence. Are we able to compete with these guys? So I think that just kind of slid downhill. I think this football team has regained that confidence. I think every day our culture gets a little better, and I'm sure they'll tell you, we are on their tails about every little detail. I just finished talking to our team about found a piece of trash, and it wasn't the 50 I would have found last year. It was 1 piece of trash. Well, it doesn't matter. That's not good enough. And I think our guys are buying into that. You notice a difference around our facility, just how it looks, how our kids carry themselves. We go out and I sent 15 of them to run up to the front of the school to help the principal, and before I even am able to get in my office, I get a message how well they did just coming up there, just doing some general work around campus. Those kind of things are starting to pay off, and our kids are believing.
Coach, returning numbers, offensively, defensively, you mentioned that numbers last year were important to try to find strength in numbers. Where are your returners offensively and defensively from a number standpoint and roster standpoint? How many guys do you have out?
We're going to be about 75, 10 through 12. Last year, a very similar number to last year. Maybe a few more, actually. Our senior class, I think, has 11 as all, though. So we're still 1 more class away from having what most people consider a full 7A roster. Should be in the mid-90s by this time next year, if not triple digits. Returners, you know, I mean, it just depends on how you count it. You know, there was several region games that I looked out there last year, and we had 4 true freshmen on the field starting a game. So, you know, at one time or another, all of our offensive line, which we feel is going to be one of the strengths of our team, every one of those guys started some games last year. Didn't start every game, but every one of them started a game. Every receiver that we'll put on the field, early at least, started a game last year, I think. There may be one sophomore that did not. Both running backs are back. Starting quarterbacks back. So depending on how you look at it, our entire offense at one time or another started and has some experience. Defensively, very similar. You know, our entire defensive line, we graduated one guy off our defensive line, and our linebackers, I mean, they were all puppies last year, so they're all back. Secondary, we graduated a couple of guys in the secondary that played significant time, but the guys that are playing in there played a lot last year as well. So we have some experience coming back. Now, it's still young experience. A lot of those guys are sophomores that played as freshmen in 7A football, and that should not be the case. So we're still young, but we do have some guys that have started.
Coach, I know you're in your second year at Bryant, any staff changes, or you pretty much got the same crew from last year?
No, about half the staff rolled over. Very fortunate. I work for a great administration that understands what it's going to take to make a turnaround. I mean, 7A football, there's 32 teams in the state of Alabama. It's very competitive, as we all know, some great athletes that you have to compete against down here. And you need an outstanding staff to turn it around. You know, just being quite blunt, I mean, there's some you improve in high school football 2 ways, you know, addition and subtraction. And we improved in both of those ways in some cases. Now, you know, now we lost a coach or two that I wouldn't like to have lost because they got better opportunities for their family. We're always going to be supportive of that. But we are bringing in, you know, I think 5 or 6 guys this year. We brought in 4 or 5 last year, bringing in 5 or 6 this year. I wish I could tell you every name, but y'all know how the game's played. I mean, a couple of them, we got to wait on that board meeting to become official. I'm not going to get sideways with our upper administration on that. I'm going to let them vote on it and approve it. But I think when the names start coming out on our staff, there's some youth in the staff, which brings some energy and excitement. And then there's some veteran guys that we're very, very excited about. You know, I know one guy that Eric Hyatt was the head coach at West Blockton for years and years. He and his wife, Chelsea, have moved down, and they're both going to be on our coaching staff. Chelsea's going to coach some softball, and Eric's going to coach our D-line. That's a guy that is board approved that I can talk about. And there's some names out there that you'll recognize when we're able to officially release them. Turn the cameras off in a minute, and I'll tell you about them. Just don't tweet it out. You know how that goes.
Talk about your quarterback and his development.
He's a lot better player now. He's playing for Coach Sessions. That's what I can tell you about his development. No, this guy right here is exactly what you want in the quarterback position. You know, he's a leader. He's not a cocky kid. You know, and it's easy to be that arrogant person as a quarterback. You know, he's not that at all. He's humble, which gives great buy-in from our team. But he also demands that respect from his teammates to be that leader of the huddle. You know, skill set wise, he's obviously got bigger, stronger, huge gains in the weight room. He's already fast to begin with, but he is now faster. You know, Christian can throw the ball with anybody in the state of Alabama. Just that simple. Just needed to get a little bit more weight and strength on him because obviously in 7A football, the guys that are chasing you and banging into you are pretty big, strong guys. So we needed to build that durability a little bit. He knew that. Very intelligent, has bought into that part of the game. And I'm really excited to see him. You know, the 7-on-7s, the ball's coming out of his hand great. His thought process of working through the offense with what Coach Karcher, our offensive coordinator, wants him to see, I think has improved. Part of that, of course, is them having the opportunity to be together for a longer period of time. which obviously that allows you to open up your offense a little bit and do some more things. So we're really excited about some of the things that we're doing, molding the offense around him and his skill set, to be honest with you.
What questions do you want to have answered before the first game?
You know, the biggest thing is we want to get to it healthy. I told you numbers-wise, you know, we think our first 22 that we can put out there can be very, very, very competitive with anyone on our schedule. Obviously, we want to find depth around them, because what you want is your top 44, and then obviously some specialists. There's not a lot of drop-off in those guys if you're going to play 7A football, because we're not naive. We know at some point someone's going to miss some reps. So, you know, finding some depth is probably the number one thing. And to be honest with you, when you're where we're at program building, we have to show the ability to win. And that's, you know, kind of a no-brainer. But at the end of the day, the number one thing is don't go lose the game. You know, so many high school teams get in their own head and let a team that shouldn't beat them because of lack of confidence or just not understanding how to finish a game. And we're still learning some of those things. It takes time to get to there as a program. But, you know, a long fall camp will be good for that.
Now, let's talk about the way 7A Region 1 is set up. You don't have Murphy and Theodore for 10 wins. Does it make it any easier for you guys?
Makes it harder. Makes it harder. Margin for error is not as great. You know, 9 team, there's a chance that somebody else knocks somebody off and helps you out. You know, and with a 7 team, at least that's the way we're going to view it. You know, I mean, you look at our schedule as far as region games, the region champion is still in our region the last time I checked. I mean, those Pirates are pretty good. Last time I checked, Baker's got a quarterback with Alabama offer. Well, they're going to be pretty dang good. Foley's got a wideout that's Alabama commit. They're going to be pretty dang good. You know, Davidson's Davidson. They always are. Mary Montgomery is, you know, they've got 140 kids playing football now. I mean, our region is tough. I mean, it really is. And I know people will talk about 7A, 6A, which is tougher. I mean, you can argue that point over and over. At the end of the day, both of them are very, very tough in the Mobile, Baldwin County area. So, you know, we just look at it as, yeah, is there technically one less game that you have to win? Yeah, but there's also one less opportunity to do that. So, you know, so I think it makes it tougher in some ways.
Speaking of your schedule, Coach, 2-part question. You guys open the first week. Are you going to do like a jamboree? And secondly, were there any difficulties trying to fill those gaps since you guys lost 2 teams in Region 1?
You know, yes and no. I mean, schedule is always difficult. You know, I've kind of been in this long enough to now I'm kind of getting on the side of probably the old guys. You know, this young guys. You know, Coach Curtis and I was kind of joking about it. You know, they like to schedule them 6, 7 surefire, trying to get them Hall of Fame numbers, I guess. Well, you know, some of us guys understand. I mean, you better schedule competitive games, and you better schedule for a reason. So to some degree, I mean, we had some people that wanted to play us that we didn't really want to play, and then we had some people that should play us that, quite frankly, wouldn't play us. And I'm sure there's somebody out there to say the same about me. You know, hey, we wanted to play him and he wouldn't play us. So we felt like our schedule accomplished a lot of things that we want to do. You know, we're playing. You asked about a jamboree. Yes, we're going to play Faith Academy at our place on the 18th. You know, and I hadn't even talked a lot about that to our team, because at the end of the day, we're going to, I mean, that's practice 10 for us is what that is. So we're going to go out and work. The following week, obviously, we host Hopeville. People's like, where did that come from? Well, there's a rhyme and a reason to this. You know, kids nowadays, a lot of kids don't necessarily get out of Mobile or Baldwin County. We tried to schedule a Tuscaloosa area school and as close as we could get to the Auburn area, because we want to take that road trip each year, one every other year, and get our kids on those campuses and let them experience, you know, going to, and this year we'll go to Northridge in Tuscaloosa. we'll go up early, let our kids experience the university, get to see that, stadium, facilities, all those kind of things. And we'll do the opposite next year with Auburn, just to make that trip. We think that's part of playoff preparation. You know, certainly that's where we want to be, is in the playoff. Well, we know this, at some point you're going to have to get on a bus and go to at least as far as Phoenix City or Auburn if you want to succeed in the South.
All right, Coach, you wanna get your guys up?
Yes, sir. What do you want?
Christian stood up, so let's get him.
You said if the hot dog Billy stood up first.
Christian, step up a little bit to the microphone, man. How's it going?
Good, how about you?
Good. Tell us, do you feel a big difference in the team from this year to last year?
Yes, sir. There's a lot that changed at Alma Bryant, mentally wise and physically wise. Last year we wasn't mentally strong and mentally focused back then. But now, since Coach Sessions changing the culture there, we can think faster and smarter now, and the culture is changing. So once you buy in, it's only for you to be mentally stronger now.
Christian, somebody told me, you know, that I think you hurt your ankle or something last season.
Yes, sir.
You want to share that remedy that your mom gave you to help out? Because man, I needed to try that when I was playing ball.
All right. So when I hurt my ankle, I got home, and my mom, she got with me. She started praying with me first, and it was swelling like bad. And she looked at me and she's like, "Everything's gonna be okay. I know you're strong. You're my firstborn. You're gonna be all right. I know you're strong. You come from my side of the family." So I was like, "Dang, Dad, you just gonna let her talk to you like that?" You know, don't worry about it. She got you. So 2 days come by, my mom said, "I got some clay for you. It's some red clay." And she got some water, and she put that water in that red clay in a bucket. And she mixed it around until it got thick. And she put it around my ankle. I hit on my ankle for about maybe 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, and sat with it. Took it off, iced it, and raised it. Maybe a day later, it went all the way down, and I was able to run back and do everything I could do after that clay. So I just kept doing that until my ankle got strong.
So you ready for this season? What should we see from you this season?
You should see a lot more difference from me. Last year, I escaped the pocket a lot, but this year I want to be able to sit in the pocket and show that I got vision and show that I can throw the ball instead of running.
Typically, Christian quarterback's gonna touch the ball on every play, on every snap on offense, but there's one other person who touches it, sits right next to you.
Yes, sir.
Talk about the exchange you guys have and the chemistry with him being your center, you being the quarterback, and you guys, juniors, now you're seniors, getting to play together once again. How important is that, and what do you guys work on outside of the game to make sure the connection is there?
It's a lot that me and my center do. Billy, it's a lot that we do behind the scenes and on the scenes. Last year on the scenes, me and Billy, we really clicked. So he can see something on my blind side because he was my left tackle. So there's a lot that I couldn't see that he can see. So he can give me calls on the line. This year, now that he's my center now, I can hear him make calls, and I know exactly what he means. So if we run in a play and he called one thing, I know exactly, like, I can audible and change it the opposite way based on what he's saying. But even off the field, when we off the field, me and Billy, we talk about football, we talk about, like, gaming, all kinds of stuff, just to build our bond together. Because if we and him clicking, the whole offense clicking, because he the centerpiece of the offense, I'm the centerpiece of the offense. Without him, the play can't get started because he got to snap it.
That's right.
Who are some of your favorite targets over the summer?
Over the summer, number 11, Deion Lambert.
No name on it?
Oh, my bad. I had a slot, I had a primary X receiver, and I had my tight end. Basically all my receivers clicked, but I clicked in jail the most with them.
Let me ask this question. So you're the quarterback. So technically, you're the coach on the field.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? I know Coach Sessions may have a play. Is there any? And KT loves this too. The check with me play. Check with me. You know to the sideline to the coach. Anytime you like, Coach, no, that's not it.
Yes, sir.
But just explain how that But on a serious note, has there ever been a play where you would have to, check out of something that coach did, but something else you see on the field happening, saying, and it worked out for you.
Yes, sir. Maybe once or twice. I haven't even told them this, but on the field they'll call one thing, and I might have seen something different and then change the whole play one time. And we get a game, I'll come back to the sideline and say, hey, coach, I know this was the play, but on this play I seen that it was open because this player right here, he bailing where I can hand the ball up. But as Coach Sessions said, I don't get that opportunity. But he probably gonna hand it.
Christian, who's your favorite athlete in any sport, and what inspires you from them that you apply to your game?
My favorite athlete in the whole world is Russell Wilson. The way Russell Wilson carries himself, his connection with God, I want to be just like him. He put God first before he do anything, and he mentally strong. He physically built for what he want to do. Everything that he do, he put his mind to it. The way he carries himself, the confidence he has, no matter how many, however people may look down at him, is the same way that I feel. Because people said that he was too short. A lot of colleges say I'm too short. A lot of colleges said he was undersized. I'm undersized. But he proved all of them wrong by making it to the NFL and being, what I say, top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. So the way that he carries himself is exactly how I want to carry myself. Putting God first, walking in his footsteps, and being mentally sound and strong and being a player of the game.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank you.
Billy,
Yes, sir.
how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Good. Same question I asked Christian about what's the difference in year 1 and year 2, Coach says.
I mean, year 1 with Coach Sessions, we had a bunch of seniors that weren't bought into what Coach Sessions was trying to tell us. They were stuck on the old culture, and he came in and was trying to switch it, and they really couldn't understand it. Like me and Mo and the junior class and below us have understood what he's trying to do, and we're really taking it to heart and switching it around.
What type of leader would you consider yourself?
I would consider myself an example leader. I mean, I might not always use the best. I might always talk to people the best, like be able to lead them with words and say motivational speeches all the time in the huddle and halftime and all that. But when it's time to go on the field or get in the rack and squat, I can do it and show them that if Coach Sessions says do 10 reps of however much weight, you better do 10 reps or it ain't going to work in the future for us.
Well, Coach talked about that mindset and you guys just needing some, getting a win and getting kind of rolling. What do you think's the key to that? You feel like y'all are closer?
Oh, yes, sir. We're definitely closer. I think our mindset has changed a lot because we have more player interaction with each other. We're more of a family than we were last year. We really just, not everybody liked each other, clicked very much. I mean, now, like Mo said, me and him off the field talk all the time. I mean, at my house, we cook, have pool parties, everybody's come over. I mean, it's more of a brotherhood than it was last year, and it helps a lot.
Billy, I kind of posed this question to Christian about you guys interacting. On the offensive line, center's pretty much considered the smartest guy on the line. You're pointing out assignments and doing this.
Yes, sir.
Outside of football, what's your favorite course in school? What do you
Science.
tend to lean toward?
Science.
And why science?
Science is pretty cool to me. I mean, I gotta have a calculator to do the math equations, but science all around is just, it's pretty cool to learn. All types of stuff you can mix and see, and it's always been my favorite subject ever since a little kid.
And how do you correlate that as a center, pointing out what needs to happen on these plays?
I mean, you gotta do the math of who's blocking who. Once you do that math, you got the formula. All goes together. Mo scores a touchdown, Isaiah scores a touchdown, win the ball game.
6 every time.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about Mo? Talk about his skill.
I think Mo's a great quarterback. More than a quarterback, I think Mo's a great person. He's a leader off the field. I mean, you go to the classroom, me and him had math class this year, you go to the classroom up there doing his work, not saying much, but if you ever need something, you always know he's a phone call away. You can ride over, talk to him anytime. Just a great person all around. And on the football field, like I said, I'm not the best speaker. Mo can get in the huddle, tell everybody to calm down. Everybody calms down, takes a deep breath. We go execute another play.
As you look at your schedule this season, do you have a particular game circled or a particular opponent that you kind of want to get that win against?
I mean, our region games, but I really want to go out there and show everybody everything that we played that we're not who we were last year. that we're a different culture and that we can stand with anybody we play.
All right, thank you, Billy. Appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
man.